past my reflection, thinking about what you mentioned. It was supposed to be the one to take every last pain away. Nothing on our loving, maybe time told us that we were different. Did it break you down? Staring at the ceiling, fighting off a feeling. One more minute, 'cause I just don't wanna come down. Don't wanna go back to how I used to be. Staring at the ceiling, fighting off the feeling. One more minute, 'cause I just don't wanna come down. Don't wanna go back to how I used to be. Looking past my reflection, thinking about what you mentioned. Nothing on my life, maybe time to just have me with staring at the ceiling, fighting off the feeling. One more minute, 'cause I just don't wanna come down. Don't wanna go back to how I used to be. Staring at the ceiling, fighting off the feeling. One more minute, 'cause I just don't wanna come down. Don't wanna go back to how I used to be.
All right. Here we are. We are back. It is week 2 of THL's 21st season. I am your host, Ron Mexico, and we are diving into our first week in THL action of this new season. Filling in for Lotus Knight tonight. He will be back next week, I'm sure. And joining me tonight, I have a special guest up in our top left, returning to Hearthcenter. We didn't have enough Canadians, so now we got even more. That's right. It's the one and only Diamond. How you doing, Diamond?
It's nice to be back.
Welcome back. Glad to have you. Next up, to your bottom left, we have uh, I don't know what else to say about this man that has not already been said. Um, Take it away for yourself, Derek America Super Chicken. How's it going tonight?
Yeah, pretty good. Excited to do another Hearth Center with some new guests.
That's right, and we'll get all the THL action very shortly. I was going to hide the players of the week, but instead they're just right there on the screen for you. So There you go. No suspense for players of the week. Sorry about that, Lotus. Uh, but let's move on. I literally just noticed right now. Let's move on to our next introduction. Last but not least, up in the top right, no Cam because it would break his computer, but he is here with us in spirit and in voice. It is the man himself, Geranium Battle. How you doing, Geranium?
I'm doing great. And you know what? I kind of did find out that it would break my computer last week. I'm sorry for lagging a few times. Just from trying to run literally two programs at the same time. Why? Anyways, we'll make it through this week, uh, and I'll upgrade my computer sometime, please.
Solid. You sounded good to start there, and then you started sounding a little bit robotic. But hopefully
Weird.
it settles. Fingers crossed. But let's get started with our players of the week. With all suspense removed, we are going to start off in EU Pro, where our first player of the week is Izat. And let's see, which one he wants to read for this one to start off.
Oh, yeah, I'll take this one.
Go right ahead.
So yeah, is that as the inaugural Pro EU series kicks off and Week 1 winds down, we must name the first EU Player of the Week, and no one is more deserving than Izat. With an interesting Warlock bring, Izat took a close 3-2 victory, adding to the already impressive week that League of Nations had. Will we see any spicy decks in Week 2? Only time will tell. Congrats to Izat.
Nice. Well deserved. Very strong player and good way to start off the season for sure. Next up,
Definitely.
we have for Hero, our player of the week was Yellow Dart. Diamond, talk to me about this one. I think you're muted, Diamond.
No.
Playing on streak can be difficult, increasingly so when it's back to back against the same opponent you just lost to. While Yellow Dart may have lost in Legacy, he showed his mental fortitude, reverse sweeping in Hero, helping Dad Legend to a more manageable week and closing the point differential. That was written by Corey Dunn.
Awesome. All right, next up, I think I know who wrote this one for our third player of the week, Dank's Dad. Geranium Battle, why don't you tell me about our legacy player of the week?
Yeah, I mean, Dank's dad may not be the captain, sweeping from the 4 seed that Osmonaut was, but his 3-1 win over Rebobson led the Stubbs into a resounding tie. Even so, taking the win over a player who had only one loss last season and stopping his habit of being reverse swept and doing it with Reno Rogue, these are all things we can only expect from the Dank father. In a world where Monkey Paladin and Reno Rogue are getting legacy wins, only he can guide us through. And that was written by Geranium Battle.
Nice. I like it. Also, I mean, how could you not give Player of the Week to somebody winning with Reno Rogue? That's amazing. I'm a big fan. I hope to see more of it in the season to come, as long as I'm not playing against him and he's beating me with it. And then on to our final Player of the Week we have for Pro, and I can just go ahead and read this one here for us. So for Pro, this write-up brought to you by Desharmo. It is Just Concede. Behind 0-2 and needing to get a win for the team, Just Concede puts his nose to the grindstone and reverse swept to win for the week. And they weren't just playing any team; they were playing against the defending champs. It is no feat to go unnoticed. Congratulations on the win, and I'm looking forward to see if Zarella's disciples can continue to play at a high level. And I just got to say, major props to not listening to his own username there. A lot of players might just concede down 0-2, but really impressive victory and well done with the win on the week. And that wraps it up for our players of the week. There you are for week 1. If you want to make this list still, there's plenty of time in the season. Just win, and also don't be Robobson. and you'll get there most likely. Any other comments on players of the week before we move on to our recaps, or otherwise?
Is that super deserving?
Oh yeah, definitely. I don't know if he's ever won a player of the week before, but in any case, I wouldn't be surprised if he was a contender every week. So let's talk about some hero. Let's jump on over to our hero recap, and we are going to start with our teams at the top. Hero this season divided into a teal conference and a purple conference. In the lead in teal, we have Always Ping Mage. It's another APM team up at the top with 20 points and a 1-0 record. F2L Black and Barnes just behind them at the top of the standings. And over in the Purple Conference, leading off is the Unknown with 21 points and a 1-0 record, close behind Teenage Mighty Ninja Squirtles and yet another APM team. It is Awake Past Midnight. We got some hero frontrunners already. But let's dive into the recap itself. So, to lead off with hero, I will kick us off. We are going to go over the Unknown versus No Pros here. Oh, wait, nope. No, I'm not. I have my sheets wrong. We're going to talk about
I
No Pros
oh,
here
I
versus
thought that was
Blast.
right.
Wait,
Let's
hold
talk
on.
about the thing from
Blast?
2 seasons ago.
Oh my god. Oh no. Oh, Lotus,
Ron,
no.
Ron's turned back the time to
Oh
when he
no.
used to top the show.
uh,
I think is
there's
the
some other
Unknown
ones
versus
here.
NPH correct? It
There you
seems
go.
correct.
Oh,
There's one. There it is.
there it is. There it is. That's like from
We
two
found
seasons
it.
ago. Again.
Okay.
Yeah, okay,
We're
this seems
fine. We're
correct.
fine
This is
here.
it.
We
You
found
made it.
it.
You made it.
Let me just try to move this one. All right, it's not gonna move. It's gonna hide the chat box. It's fine. So Unknown versus No Pros here. Starting off in the 1 seed, we have Chewy taking a 3-1 victory over perennial hero stalwart Agent PWE. Desharmo in the 2 seed as the captain, getting a close loss to up-and-comer Your Mum Kid, who's constantly climbing towards that 550 PR spot. Yockster taking a close one right back against Skittles in the 3, going to 5 games as well. We had Thalfix taking a 3-1 victory over Buffoon in the 4 seed, and finally in the 5, 2-star Mako starting strong with this hero season, 3-1 over Clarity. And just a really solid start for the Unknown. They look like another strong team again this season, and no slouches in week 1, especially against a team well known for dominating in the regular season. Thoughts, guys?
Yeah. I mean, I have recently gotten to know Thalfix because I recruited him to my legacy team this season, and I mean, he's been really great to work with so far. Like very active with preparation ideas. So yeah, not surprised to see him starting off 1-0, and I think yeah, this Unknown team does look pretty solid. I think they're mostly stuck together since last season. I think 2-star Mako was maybe their pickup. I'm not sure. Oh no, I think he stayed as well. So I think it might be the same team as last year with like Desharmo being in the 2 as opposed to Chewy who was in the 2 last season.
I
But
thought
yeah,
they had Molstar last season, or he subbed in at some
I
point
think
Both
he
for
subbed in
Molstar
Desharmo.
for a
and for
couple weeks.
Desharmo.
Ah, okay. But yeah,
But yeah.
definitely a lot of the same makeup there. Oh, replaced Mech and Jim.
Oh
Mako
yeah.
and
With
Youngster.
And then
Yachtster
Pardon.
and Maka.
yeah.
Yep.
Thank you,
Oh,
And
okay. But
Thalfix.
yeah,
Chewy swapped with Desharmo.
Gotcha. No, definitely like a strong team so far and a good showing. I was a bit surprised with like I guess the DH and the Warrior band, but like in LHS especially, like you can kind of plan the way you want your decks to work. So, and I mean they won their matches, so I guess it fell their way, or I guess they assumed that their opponents would be doing something different. So yeah,
I mean, to be fair, Thalfix didn't have to ban Druid because there was no Druid,
so
which
true.
Bassoon
I,
Buffoon maybe maybe needed to rethink that one. But I guess
Hey,
Mako had a plan
maybe
for Druid because Clarity brought it and it didn't get banned.
yeah, maybe Bassoon Buffoon picked Demon Hunter instead of Druid on the class
Misclick. It
selections. Yep.
happens.
I mean, I've done it before. Like, it's not fun.
Yeah, unfortunate. But yeah, just solid performance by the unknown starting off. Any other thoughts before we move to our next match to cover? Okay, sweet. So match number 2 is definitely not No Pros here versus Blast. I don't know where that came from. We're gonna cover that up.
Ron
Uh,
really
That's
wants
in
to
the
talk about
notes.
No Pros here versus Blast.
Was that like a
That's
title from
that's
like a previous
This is such a great
season?
match.
You guys,
that's
you
in
guys, have you seen this match though? All right. On to our next one, which is always Ping Mage versus At Least I Don't Have Chicken. And well, speaking of chicken, Super Chicken, why don't you talk to me about this match here?
Yeah, this is my old hero team who has fittingly changed their name to At Least I Don't Have Chicken. Yeah, I was recruited to play Wild this season, so I had to kind of decided 4 series would be too many. But anyway, with this surprisingly the worst hero 1 seed from last season is now in the 2 seed and has won his first match of this season and was the only match that At Least I Don't Have Chicken won, with everyone else falling in their respective seed. Yeah, really, really strong showing by Always Ping Mage. I thought At Least I Don't Have Chicken was one of the stronger teams on paper at the start of the season. So yeah, this is a really good look for this one of the 2 APM teams in Hero.
Yeah, super impressive win by APM. Although, I mean, I'm sure At Least I Don't Have Chicken will bounce back just fine. The strategy very clearly is Neji loses, rest of the team wins. It's a curse. When he wins, the rest of you lose. It's you can't have it happen.
Yeah, it is a
uh,
classic with this team. I think formerly that was me and C-Max switching back and forth. And now it looks like the dynamics changed a little bit here.
Yeah, but definitely, this is a very scary team on paper, and I think they'll be just fine. They've even, I think, won titles before where they started off, like 2, 3 weeks out the gate, just losing and having kind of rocky starts, and then they kind of put it all together. But great start for APM, and hopefully they can keep that momentum going. Since right now it's carrying them to the tune of #1 in teal.
Yeah, I think it's clear now that if Neji wins, everyone else on the team has to lose to counteract that disparity. And then also, Genji once again has defeated Justin in the regular season. Is now 2-0 lifetime. I am a very big Genji fan,
Oh,
so I'm happy to see.
Genji's very good. Yeah, I
And then
think
also,
they'll be
yeah,
they'll be very strong throughout their whole time in THL.
and then an interesting thing as well. It's like I think this is like the first time in a while that Nine isn't playing on his hero team, and like because the core
yeah,
was like him and CMAC with others, but Nine is not here, so we'll see how that goes for the whole season.
Yeah, it
nine
is
is
interesting.
represented in the logo though. So
I mean, true.
uh, one interesting thing about this is the this is a main story of Hero this week is basically all these teams going 4-1 on match records. We saw it with the unknown winning 4 of the matches, always Ping Mage winning 4 of the matches. That's just most of the teams in this first week. Um, so we'll see if anything can break that.
Well, I'm glad that you brought that up because we have one more match to discuss from the first week in Hero. And it's no pros here versus Blast. Just kidding. Just kidding. It is extraterrestrials versus Barnes. And this one got close. So talk to me about this match here, Geranium Battle.
Yeah, with extraterrestrials versus Barnes, um, the return of a team that's been here for the past few seasons under very different names or slightly different names, Barnes versus extraterrestrials, a team that is back after a very long hiatus. A2 and the 1 winning over Based Inc. Um, Nails winning over Yo Daddy, Seth beating Trito 3-0, Chewbacca returning after supposedly quitting the game, maybe a little bit suspect there, and beating Vampire Nighthawk, and then Nomad Farmer a sweep over Roadrunner to make it a very close 14-11, 3-2 on match score win.
Yeah, I think
Nomad.
Shu had told me he was like not gonna join a team, but he would be subbing intermittently. So I don't think this is like um him really deferring from his plan or anything. I think he'll probably just be we'll see him subbing in throughout the season for maybe a team or two, but probably not too much other than that.
Just whenever he wants more attention, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah,
When he
yeah.
wants to become the 5 seed All Star, which was his main gimmick for a while, but now he's in the
Exactly.
4 seed. But no, props for him for coming in and winning for Astro Frog to sub in. And then I think is
I
the current BGH for Hero because that's a pretty big
Yeah,
point difference.
definitely.
Yeah.
The front runner for BGH with a single week sub works out nicely sometimes.
I would like to note that Nomad Farmer submitted a DH ban when Roadrunner does not have that, and still 3-0'd. So, don't know if he filled out the form wrong or whether he actually just said ban whatever you want.
Quite the flex.
Just the Giga Chad, I don't need a ban.
You'll love to see it.
Don't need a ban. Use all your decks. I'll sweep you anyways. But yeah, as per like the other ones, like it's just been Druid ban, and I guess after the nerf, so we'll see if that maybe changes.
Yeah, it'll be
a
interesting
little,
to see
but
how much that might change, but Druid easily enemy number throughout all of THL. I think we'll see a very persistent theme in every set of matches that we cover that overwhelmingly Druid banned. Any final thoughts on Hero before we move on to our legacy recaps, where we've got 3 whole conferences to cover? Front runners, anybody want to make a bold championship prediction yet, or is that too early?
Yeah,
win
it's definitely
again.
the 3 seeds copium.
Solid. All right, with that, let's jump into Legacy. So we're going to start with Legacy Gold. And this is the correct match, right? Okay. Hey, nice. Legacy Gold leading off at the top of the conference. We have Blue Naga Cult with 20 points in that 1-0 record, and just behind them is previous champion. Already, it's a rotated card, but the team name and image just too good. Hot Zilfs still in your area. 18 points and a 1-0 record to take the number 2 spot in gold, just barely behind them, Fish Eternum. And we actually had a tie this week, too, with F2L White and Distubs, which we will cover first as our legacy recap match. So to start off with that, Diamond, talk to me about Distubs versus F2L White.
For sure. So like starting off, we have our player of the week, Dankest Dad, winning 3-1 over Robobson. And then Myanodon also having a 3-1, going the other way. Then Slad won in 5 games versus Blue Jay. Then Oz swept Anfall. And then Totino's 1-5 against Karafinway. So like yeah, essentially I think this is the highest tie you can get, so pretty good.
Yeah, just
We
back and forth, back and forth.
I wouldn't, I guess, have called a tie per se, like looking at it initially, but like it is interesting that a tie was made, and we'll see how these teams will fare in this conference.
Yeah, the Stubs have been experiencing some rocky seasons recently, and it's nice to see them kind of start off with a pretty solid performance. F2L typically always a contender, and our top teams uh, definitely starting off very nicely. But even all the way down at the bottom of gold, nobody feels like super out of it. We don't even have any single digit points. you can't call anyone out of it after week one anyway, unless you love overreacting like I do. Um, but it looks like a solid start for sure. A lot of competitive teams that are going to be, um, I would guess neck and neck for a while. I don't see like a true major front runner yet out of everybody. Although I suppose you could just overreact and say Blue Naga Cult, and hey, why not talk about that one? As that is going to be our match number 2 that we will cover. So, Blue Naga Cult versus Pod People. Next one here, and I'll run through this one. It was a 17-10 victory. Lotus Knight taking the 3-2 victory over fellow pro teammate Ridiculous Hat in the 1 seed. Went 5 games. Nails taking a 3-0 over Starlax in the 2. Bach for Life dropping to Wicked Good 1-3. He must have been shaken up because Wicked Good didn't even bring Priest. I would be shook too. In the 4 seed, we've got Skittles taking a 5-game series victory over Dragon Rider. And lastly, Gymphalos getting subbed in and having a real close call against Righteous Jammies. Righteous Jammies coming out on top in another 5-game series. So even though most of these went Blue Naga Cult's way, we're looking at so many close games that this easily could have gone the other way, and I got high hopes for both of these teams and their competitiveness this season.
Yeah, going over your comment of there not being a clear front runner, I will say Blue Naga Cult has 2 points per week more than any other team in the conference. That's crazy. Um,
Absolutely nuts.
locked,
Who could
locked
catch
for
them?
it.
Yeah, it's
But
nice.
yeah,
It's
go
nice to
ahead,
see
Evan.
Lotus captaining as well, because I'm pretty sure the last time captain was the Albatrosses, and like they were like perennial, like pretty strong team, and like this team also looks pretty strong. Same with like Pod People though. Like I think that 3-4 of just Dragon Rider and Wicked Good that could like switch on a dime, and like any of the either of those players on the floor like are pretty good.
Yeah,
I
I
mean,
really like the makeup of both of these, to be honest. Like on the other side, that 3-4 kind of analysis you're making for Odd People, for Blue Naga Cult, that's so insane. Skittles as a 4 seed and Bach for Life, who pretty regularly seems to be up at top 100, top 200 legend, just
yeah.
casually in the 3 seed here. This team is one to look out for,
And then
especially when
Nails
Nails is still a 2 seed.
Yeah, I
yeah.
was shocked to see Bach for Life sitting around 400 PR. I was not aware that he was a 3 seed on this team. Cause yeah, I'd like I'd seen him like at in like yeah top 200, top 100 legend. So yeah, I think he is a player that is pretty under PR'd and is now probably even more under PR'd because he just lost.
We do a little PR management.
Yeah,
So true.
But I
there's
mean, for
some
real, I'm,
water.
I'm sure Wicked Good played a good game. He's a very strong player too. Not surprising to see him.
Yeah, definitely.
That does it for our Gold Conference recap, though. Unless there's, oh, hold on. Do I have another one? Sometimes
No.
these notes are confusing. No, I don't. That does it for our
Wonder.
Gold Conference recap. Let's move on to Red, unless anyone has anything else to say about Gold.
Nah, give me the red.
On to Red, we have up at the top 4 Justins, 1 Sustin, 21 points, a super strong performance to lead off, 1-0 record, and another Priest meta. That's right, it's APM showing up again. 20 points with the 1-0 to start off their season. 2 very strong teams up at the top. Our other 2 winners from the first week, S21 THL Legacy Series team. You guys went all out on the name here. And the coolest are defending champs, also getting a win off the season. We are going to start. Super Chicken, talk to me about the 2 through 4, or the 2 through 5 of this here. We don't need to talk about that 1 seed matchup. Who even cares? S21 THL Legacy Series team, hell of a performance against HSA. Take it away.
Yeah, everyone on my team did better than me. So that it was a great week for us. Yeah, I got carried by the awesome teammates that I managed to find for this season. Oh yeah, this is like my first season captaining in THL. So I've definitely been looking forward to this. It's I mean it's already been pretty fun. Team environment's pretty cool. So yeah, I think everyone was kind of helping out on prep. We kind of brought some different stuff. HSA kind of keeping it a little more homogeneous in their class submission. But
Yeah,
yeah,
no, we totally we prepped super hard. I was like, guys, I think I want to bring this lineup, and they're like, seems good, roll with it. I'm like, wait, did everyone copy?
Yeah, I think maybe
yeah,
that was the most popular lineup across the THL this week.
Your team
Definitely,
meet.
I mean, definitely a solid lineup. I did like a lot of the things that your team went with, though. Super Chicken, like there was at least part of it looked like a target Demon Hunter strategy as well, and sometimes it worked and sometimes it didn't. Um, very, very clearly, like as we mentioned earlier, there is a common theme in bans. Nobody wants any part of Druid.
yeah. Yeah, and I think rightfully so. Yeah, just the best like not only the best deck in the game, but also felt like it wasn't really targetable like at all. Felt like you know demon like aggro demon hunters had a good matchup into it, but even then you can like people were starting to text spammy Arcanist into their druid, which was really helping the matchup a lot and really honestly bringing it pretty close to even or even like I know like I think Justin Time was laddering with the druid deck and he had to like he ended up like going 7-2 against demon hunters when running spammy Arcanist. So yeah, just I think druid was really as close as we'll get to like an unbeatable class really.
Yeah, we'll see if the nerfs have anything to say about that, because obviously, just a super dominant uh position in the meta right now for Druid. Um, which this is why they make the balance changes. But as far as this set of matches goes, pretty close. I was happy with my team's performance overall. It's good to see Super Chicken getting your first win to start off captaining in THL is always pretty cool to see. And no, we're by no means out of it. Long season, but definitely not exactly where we want to start. We're looking at what should be, I think, a pretty competitive red conference as well. Um, Even with this next matchup that we will talk about, we had a team miss out on a lot of points here, and that was for Justin's 1 Sustain versus I'm a Legacy 3 seed. Um, but sometimes that happens, and there's still bounce back weeks. Geranium, let's rip off the band-aid here. We went from one captain's recap of his team winning. Talk to me about this one. What went wrong?
Yeah, why you gotta do this to me, man?
Just cause,
Yeah, I mean, yeah, you said you had a team miss a lot of points. I mean, for Justin's one, Sustin really did not miss that many points this week as they clobbered all the three seeds. I mean, my 3 seed that's playing in the 5 lost to their 2 seed playing in the 5. My 3 seed playing in the 4 lost to their 2 seed in the 4. My 3 seed in the 3 lost to their 2 seed in the 2. Or sorry, in the 3. Uh, 3 seed in the 2 losing to the they're absolute. I mean, Wild Rose. We'll talk about them in March Madness in a bit, and then I managed to claw my way to the only points my team got this entire week with a win over Infinite. Um, just absolute yikes across the board here. One thing that I really think would help my team in the future is please Hearthstone dev team delete Elise. Please get it out of the game. We can't do this anymore.
I did hear that yeah, Damon and Turtle challenged Wild Rose and Pokemon to Monkey Paladin mirrors, and then were beaten at their own game and fell in the Monkey Paladin mirror. So yeah, I think if Geranium's team is going to have any chance, we need to take Elise out of the game.
Reminder that Damon created Monkey Paladin and then Turtle laddered with it and created the bait tweet. Like they are the Monkey Paladin players.
Well, it seems like there's this pretty clear strategy going forward. Just don't do that again with Monkey Paladin. You might be fine. Might be
People
totally fine.
totally wouldn't bring bad decks and lose all their PR. That would never happen in THL Legacy Series.
You would
That's never
never.
happened before.
It's not like they're setting up for a next
That's
season
so
powerhouse or anything.
That has never happened before.
I don't think you could put Turtle on a powerhouse, could you? Would that does that surely that's like an oxymoron, isn't it?
I mean, obviously, yeah.
Last
We're
season
all
was
here
a
for the turtle hate and sniping as much as possible.
stick to
By the
cast
way-
and turtle.
Just
By the way,
kidding, I love
funny
turtle.
thing, Turtle lost 0-3 and then ranked up.
Amazing. I mean, sometimes that just happens, I guess. It's kind of weird how it went down that way, but it'll be an
Yeah,
interesting
that's
season. You
because
have so many so close in PR that you'll have lots of fluctuations.
oh, I'm sure. Except for me, I get to stay up here. Great.
For now,
You could also bring Monkey Paladin and drop down.
true. You could have the rest of the team not bring Monkey Paladin,
Yeah.
and you could bring it, and then,
And you could
PR
win it. You get player
shenanigans
of the
galore.
week. Exactly.
Quick tip for Hearthstone Academy this next week: just bring Paladin in every seed, and then we'll be baited to bring Monkey Paladin. Easy.
I'll
Just
spread
play
the
the
news to
Monkey
the team.
Paladin mirror. Go on.
There's still time to submit. All right.
Yeah.
But any other things we want to say about Legacy Red before we move on to our last conference for Legacy to recap?
I will say about my team, final thing, is that with 4 points is not the lowest of any THL team. That goes to Donkey Hot in EU Pro, who has not played a match yet.
Well said. Well said. That's captaining 101 right there. All right, on that note, let's move on to the Silver Conference for Legacy, our final conference for Legacy, and we are starting off. The team at the top is Illidan's Death Knights with 21 points from their week, the 1-0 start, and in the number 2 spot for Silver, we've got the return of Serenite Pain Gang up at the top. 19 points from the first week with that 1-0 start. Also, just behind them, Kachow Clowns and Standard THL Degenerates, a former Legacy Series runner-up. So, solid start for Silver as well. Only one team in the single digits, and that team happens to be one of the most storied teams in Legacy, in Dad Legend. We're going to talk about their match first. So, Illidan's Death Knights versus Dad Legend, 18-8. Diamond, talk to me about what happened in this match.
Yeah. JR's and Yellow Dirt have a very seasoned history, and if you don't know, just check anytime they play each other and how many times they talk to each other and ping each other back and forth. That's great. Uh, Anyways, with the match, how it went, Desharmo 1-5 versus JR, and then there's a sweep from Vino versus newcomer King Viking. Then Raptor HS 1-5 against Isocles. Jespine, who I don't know how he's in the 4 seed, but he's there in both series. Won against Yeldar in this match, but then lost in the other one. That's why Yeldar got Player of the Week. And then Mighty Biz beat Haster 3-1, who's coming back and also doesn't have this CVG per their name anymore. But yeah, and then the theme has been with the bands, the Paladin and Warrior one are really kind of interesting, but yeah, kind of starting off strong.
Yeah.
This is a
Go ahead.
this is a pretty hype moment for Mighty Biz, who did not win a match at all last season, so it's pretty great to see them get a win on the board going into this one. Maybe a turnaround.
They now go undefeated rest of the season.
Trust.
Could happen. It always starts with a win in week 1 if it's going to go down. But great start for Illidan's Death Knights. They'll look to keep that momentum in week 2. And for Dad Legend, obviously, just the talk of, hey, this is a very long season. You've got a very seasoned captain in Yellow Dart as well, and I'm sure they will enders throughout the majority of the season. With that, let's talk about our second match, which is our other top team. It is Serenite Pain Gang getting a 16-14 win. This is like a prize fight here. Just 5-game series across the board versus Sunks of Drunken City. So I'll run us through this one here. We have your Mumked in the 1 seed taking down the 3-2 over Magnificent. And then we went 5 again. Blood Rose 3-2 over Van Spritarn. Back and forth we go. A 3-2 victory for Y the Hunter over Pescatarian. And then Darkside. I'm not sure the order that the matches were played, but Darkside, of course, would have been the decider here in the order we're reading it, with the 3-2 victory over Ponius in the 4 seed. But Judo Chop also making it very, very close here with the 5-game victory over Eternal in the 5 seed. This is just crazy. I'd love to see something like this where just every series going 5. I mean, what more can you say about this being anyone's game than a score like this? I'm excited to see how both of these teams do this season. Thoughts on this match?
Yeah, insanely close. I mean, talking of people who should not be playing down at these seeds, Pescatarian has gone down a seed every single season with Serenite Pain Gang. So, yeah, I mean, we're seeing sort of the fruits of their labor, the PR gain on their team comp, and getting a win. Pretty great.
Absolutely. And it's one of those things like that's you don't want to take a moral victory as a team. Like, you want that extra 3 points, but I mean that's like the best way to lose if there is one. Like, you can get basically that amount of points in a win. So 14 is incredible, and this is a series that's based off of points at the end of the day. So every point matters, like we say all the time, and huge start for Sunks of Drunken City, even in a loss. It's impressive. For Serenite Pain Gang, they've had some rocky seasons too, so it is certainly nice to see them booking that first win early to see if they can start up some momentum and work their way into a playoff conversation. That, however, is all of our matches for Legacy to cover. Any final words on the Legacy series before we move on to our next recap? Sweet. I'm gonna take that as a no. So we're gonna dive into Pro here soon. We've got Pro in Americas and Pro in EU to cover. But before we do that, we're going to go through March Madness and then a quick commercial break after that. So let's start with a little bit of a March Madness recap. Who wants to volunteer to run us through some March Madness?
Yeah,
I
just as an
can.
update.
Oh,
Oh, never mind.
would you
Go for
say,
it.
Max?
We're both volunteering. Yeah.
Well, I actually
You go.
have
You
I
You go
go
actually
ahead.
have
ahead.
2 sections, so we
Oh,
can
let's
do one
go.
and one because we've broken it up. Here, we'll switch on over to the screen. So we're going to start with I think this is the top of the bracket, and then we'll go to the bottom of the bracket. So Super Chicken, if you want to start from the top, that way you don't have to read your losses, and then Geranium Battle can take the bottom of the bracket. Go ahead.
Sure, yeah. Yeah, so starting from the top left side, we had Ree Bobson versus Jay, or I guess how much of this have we covered? I think we'd seen some of the matches, maybe some of the early first round matches on last
Yeah, I think
Hearth
last
Center,
week
but
you
I'll
guys were
I'll
going
move it
over.
back a little bit. We had Ree Bobson versus Agent PWE, Ree, taking Ree Bobson getting the win there, and then Skirt falling to Jake Weiss. We had Jespine losing to Marty B, and then we had Coles taking down Glee. And then in the next round, we had Lee Bobson winning again over Jake Weiss and Marty B, taking down Coles. So then, yeah, so now we have the matchup of Ree Bobson versus Marty B coming up. And then on the other side, we have.
And the bracket doesn't show it right now, but Trito did advance past Memnarch. So it is going to be Trito versus Chronic for the Elite Eight match there. I noticed it's not we don't have it
Oh,
populated.
yeah, true. Yeah, so yeah, Trito taking down Banterface and then Memnarch after already having taken down Turles as well. So just continuing his war path through the bracket. Memnarch was had beaten everyone previously, taking down Glare and Fish, but fell to Trito, as I mentioned. Then further down in the bracket, we had Pokemon beating Always Lethal. I believe did not sign up, but then he beat Neji Boston, who did sign up and just lost to him. Then we had Pokemon versus Chronic in the next round, and Chronic was able to take down Pokemon, who is now uh, awaiting to play his match versus Trito in top 8.
Yeah, I'm really impressed by the top right of this bracket. Like Trito and Chronic, I really did not expect would make it out of, the minefield that was, like McBanterface and Memnarch and Neji Boston and Corbett. Just a lot of big names here. You know, Chronic taking down Corbett, Pokemon taking down Neji, Torito taking down McBanterface and Memnarch. This is pretty hype. Some really great performances by these players.
Yeah,
There
the
were a lot
top
of
right side of the bracket, I think, seemed to have the most upsets, at least from my perspective. It seemed like, I mean, there's been, I think, a lot of upsets throughout the bracket, but it seems like the most notable ones were definitely in the top right here.
Yeah,
yeah.
absolutely. So we got some pretty exciting matchups to come. That's the first four of your Elite Eight: Rabobson, Marty B, Trito 2, and Chronic. And Geranium Battle, if you want to take it away with the bottom part of the bracket, we'll get that one up on the screen. Right ahead.
Well, of course. Yes, so in the bottom half of the bracket on the left side there, we have German Shep absolutely trouncing every single, well, not really trouncing, going very close against every single member of For the Boys in a row, taking out Dabs, then Super Chicken, then Diamond to make his way there. Whereas um, Wild Rose had to take out his share of absolutely cracked players. He took out Wild Nine, then Rice Bowl, then Ron Mexico, sorry to say for you, but it does
Two of
leave
them are
us with
cracked.
a
That Ron Mexico guy's not so good. It was a solid win by Wild Rose. He beat up on my bad deck.
yeah. I mean, just the even just the first round match of Wild Nine versus Wild Rose. I think it's sort of fate to see him make it this far, but he'll have to add yet another insane name to his roster of defeated players if he wants to take out German Shep. Meanwhile, on the right side of the bracket, we've got Based Inc. going through. Uh, oh no, why is that really small? Okay, well, Based Inc. took out EPT Hopper in the first round, then your Mumked, then Jordan MG to make it to this point. Whereas Nails is the other person going to fight against Based Inc. The hero 1 and 2 seeds facing off against each other after Nails fought against first Bremen, then Tiger Eye, and then JR Juggerlaw. I know that the bracket is not updated, but JR took out Genji and then fell to Nails. Uh, yeah, there's quite a few big names in here that did not even really make it out of the first round. We got Izat, T-Stew. Um, I would say EPT Hopper was one of the favorites. OTZ Zaisha as well. And just all of them fell very early to bring us to Base Stink versus Nails.
Yeah, it's a good thing to mention because I'd say like maybe a good 10 people didn't sign up. Like I'm pretty sure Izzard didn't sign up. I think it was the timing of the tournament too, because there's other terms that people wanted to play in. Like I think it was DreamHack. I'm not sure on the timing of that one, but like the DreamHack qualifiers that people wanted to play in.
Yeah,
Like fair.
there were some bracket busters when Pascoa didn't check in.
See, that's why when you submit your bracket, submit it 5 minutes before the battle files do,
The
because
strats.
yeah, but yeah, I think there was a lot of bracket busting like within the bracket. Like I think specifically that I remember is like Coles and Glee. People kind of had Glee like making the top four, even like the finals of that side, because on paper it looked like that. But yeah, and I think you can see like at each quadrant there was a upset of sorts. And
Yeah,
I
so that's our full Elite Eight, and it looks pretty good. We've got Based and Nails on the right side, German Shep and Wild Rose on the left, and of course we already covered our top four of the bracket. Any new predictions now out of these eight for who's going to take it down?
Yeah, I had when I was making my bracket, I had a tough time choosing between myself and Shep. I think who was gonna make it further. Um, yeah, I ended up betting on myself, but ended up being a poor decision. But I do think um, Shep's been playing some really good Hearthstone lately, and I do think he's gonna go all the way and win the whole thing.
Yep.
Nice. Not a totally surprising prediction from fellow For the Boys teammate picking German Shep to win. But I'm sure captain of For the Boys Diamond will have a totally separate prediction, right?
See, I think Shep's gonna win for a purely a different reason. Of that when we were all, I think it was like a couple of us were in call making it. A lot of us had Shep losing the chicken originally, and then I think Shep took this like internally that everyone said he wasn't gonna win, and so far I think he's in the lead to Brad because he's going everything. And I mean, he's on his warpath, and his goal he said as well was to eliminate every other For the Boy member.
Nice.
But Jake got eliminated from there, so he can't fulfill. I guess he fulfilled everyone that was remaining up. But yeah, I just did not want to play him. His lineup really fucked mine up, and I was like, I'm very down to just concede. Let me play the series out anyways. But it went how I thought it would.
Sometimes these things happen. Geranium, you got a prediction? Winner of the whole thing?
Yeah, I think I gotta go against the grain here, and I gotta choose the person who I think bracket will also win, which is German Shep. Um, Definitely not because he is my teammate and hero. Uh, I just think he has the correct prediction of him winning the whole thing, and I'm gonna go with it.
Nice. Well, let me help Shep out and not cast a curse, because I will make another totally unbiased prediction and say that my pro teammate and Amberflight Gaming teammate Baystink is going to win the whole thing. I like her decks a whole lot. I think she had like a good option, you know, before we really had a better feel of the meta. She still had like some things that can really hang, and I like her chances. So I'm going based to win it all. And there you go. You're welcome, Shep. Now you can win. Can't just throw out the full caster prediction to curse. All right, but that's it for March Madness for now. We'll come back at you with more updates when we have more information to share. Um, we call it March. We're in April right now, and this is gonna roll into May for sure. But I don't think we're getting to June. This is going pretty decently fast, right?
We're open
Should
up.
Yeah,
conclude by May.
brackets updating every like, I don't know, 3 days or so ish.
Yeah.
So yeah, it should be over relatively shortly.
So, but
Hopefully.
a lot to cover as always on Hearthcenter. We try to, keep it to not too long of a run. So we've got a quick little commercial break for you, and then we will dive in to our final two series to cover, which is going to be Pro and Pro. So let's just jump straight into our commercial, rapid fire, and then we'll take you back to the other series. So here we go. It's been a little while. Shake off the rust. Hey there, Twitch viewers. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth Ooh. Have you subscribed to Team Hearth League yet? No? Then make today the day to be a league yourself and subscribe to our channel. This subscription enables the THL team to help cover the various costs of operating our website as well as improve the quality of our streams and content to our viewers. If you have Amazon Prime or Twitch Prime, you can actually subscribe to this channel for free. Subscribers will go to THL Emoticon as well as the lovely THL Heart chat patch. So hit that hard button to keep the notifications on to make sure you catch our team broadcasting live. We appreciate each and every one of you. Special note to our viewers, hey, don't delete that. Special note to our viewers, check out THL's other social media points of interest, our website, teamhearthleague.com. Follow us on Twitter at THL_HS. Join us in Discord at Team Hearth League. Check out the THL POW podcast for power rankings for all series wherever you find your podcasts. The true Hearth legend himself, Saku, continues to post all of our videos on our YouTube channel. Just search Team Hearth League to catch everything previously recorded. You are, of course, watching us on our Twitch channel, twitch.tv/Team Hearth League, or possibly on our YouTube channel in the future. And for all you THL fanatics out there are THL shows every single most days of the week. You can't go wrong tuning in at any time for some amazing Hearthstone-related content. Now back to the good part. All right, and the good
Wow,
part
he's still got it.
stumbled just a little bit, but not too rusty. Let's dive into some pro. Let's talk pro last week in black. We are going pro Americas first, and we are starting off. Oh my goodness, look at that logo. Look at that team. Brushy Tuna, oh my goodness, starting off 21 points, 1-0. And next up we have Zarella's Disciples with 18 points and that 1-0 start to the season. Our other two teams up at the top, Taggers and Achieving Playoffs Maybe, with 16 points apiece. So let's break it down with our first pro recap match. We're going to go through this one on your screen, Zarella's Disciples versus For the Boys. Coming back to you, Super Chicken. This was a close loss. Talk to me about what happened.
Um, yeah, this is a bit of a tough one for us. I think we got a little like, I don't know, maybe metagamed ourselves a little bit on this one. Um, kind of like I think for me, Control Paladin kind of sucked for sure. Oh, also, I think I lost with Charge Warrior a lot. Uh, in this, I think most of my losses were on Charge Warrior in this series. Yeah, I think like we maybe kind of, yeah, like mind gamed ourselves a little bit. I mean, credit to Zyrella's Disciples, they also played quite well, and I think um their lineups were quite good into ours, so credit to them and their prep as well. But yeah, definitely a down week for us. But I think I don't think Zyrella's Disciples are really like a weak team either. They have some strong players that are doing quite well on ladder, um, and then are also some of them are quite accomplished in wild as well. So I think us us losing to Zyrella's Disciples was not something like too crazy.
Cue
Yeah,
the wild meme.
that's coming.
Something like that.
I
Red
think
likely.
like, yeah, I'd say they're one of the like stronger teams in the actual conference, and like probably like underrated on the start. And I mean, we also left the lineup in Shep's hands. Like, even though it says everyone has the same, Chicken's lineup is slightly different, but the rest is just Shep submitting for everyone else. Because first it started with Dabs saying, "Can you submit for me?" Then Dardar was like, "Oh, can you submit for me?" And Jake was just, we forgot he just didn't say anything that week. So we're like, "Oh, well, guess we'll skip the same lineup for him as well." And I mean, hey, Jake and Shep did win, so we'll see. But yeah,
True, and
Yeah, I
you
think,
know,
I mean, Super Chicken.
oh, go ahead.
Super Chicken cursed it with those two cards difference. I mean, that just sort of ruined the entire week for everyone, I think.
they
Yeah,
also
yeah. This loss is on me.
I'm not too worried about for the boys starting off. You know, still double-digit points, um, defending champion for Pro Series, and same exact lineup of team members all the way through. And also, what did this loss match your total amount of losses for the entire season last season?
yeah.
Yeah.
So we
Oof,
we can't go undefeated in the regular season. That's what we've learned since the
Yeah, we've gotten our loss out of the way in week
true,
1.
true. Now just
and
don't
now,
lose ever again, and you're fine.
I
Yeah.
mean,
No big deal.
I believe it. It can happen. It's happened before. But yeah, and it was like interesting thing. This last thing about the team is the seed order that was submitted this week. It's the inverse of last season. So now I guess we'll see where the seeds will go. But yeah, Chicken's a 5 seed, and Shep's gonna move it up.
Awesome. All right, and then our next match that we have to cover is my team here, Brushy Tuna versus Faction. Um, we started off with a nice opening, 18 to 8. Just to run through seeds, I was able to take down the 3-0 win in the 1 over Flying Kraken. Baystink getting a 3-2 victory over Fogey. We had a 3-1 win for Lotus Knight in 3 seed over Tonbury Blue. Ridiculous Hat was actually the last person on our team to play, so everything was already decided, and he was sweating. He's like, "Oh, come on, the pressure's on for me to also beat this GM over here in Mighty in the 4 seed." He made it close, but Mighty getting that victory in a 5-game series, 3-2, and McBanterface taking down a 3-1 over GCT Turth. I love the lineup for Faction. I think they're a very strong looking team despite starting off, with the lowest point total in black. Um, just kind of an unfortunate set of breaks for them, I think. Notwithstanding the fact that Flying Kraken had a time mix-up with me and thought that he was playing later than he was actually playing, and then a lot of credit to him. He tried to make sure that the match still happened as soon as possible. I think he was super tired, and he didn't really get the amount of time necessary to play. So there were just a couple, I think, sleepiness issues that contributed to a lucky victory that
Uh,
maybe denied Faction some points. But overall, pretty happy with Brushy Tuna's performance, and we'll see how it goes.
yeah, we get it. Ron Sharks another win. What else is new?
Yeah,
I would like to go on record and say that Ron has sharked me in literally all of our in literally all of our matches, and none of the wins were real. Mickey Mouse player, can't win a real series.
I mean, 100% agree. Uh, like to be fair though, like you're not even wrong with how our series have gone. It's been disgusting. Like the draws that I've had against you. It's like, oh, I guess Chicken doesn't get. He's not allowed to win in these series. I'm just gonna draw like absolutely perfect in every game. That's cool.
Yeah, I'm not mad. You're mad.
All right, but
uh,
that does it for Black Conference for our recap. And then we'll switch on over to Pink unless anyone has anything else to say about Pro NA Black
yeah,
before we move on.
do.
Yes, go
I
right ahead.
mean, one final thing is, it's kind of weird that Lotus Knight featured both matches where his team won, and weird that Ron is also featured in the matches where he won. It's I don't know. I don't get THL sometimes.
Collusion.
It's the content angle.
Crazy
And like
stuff. Crazy
the
stuff
thing about
going
the
on.
match though that
Listen,
I was
THL, if you want your match to be featured, just join content. It's so easy. And then you just are in charge of putting your own match on the screen and talking about it. Totally not biased in any way. Um, the recurring theme was that Lotus looked like he was putting the top teams in each conference for the recaps, but also we just happened to be fortunate enough to get there. but it's also totally rigged and biased.
Yeah, a thing as well that like it was interesting with the Mighty Arhat match was it seemed like Arhat had the read that Mighty would bring aggro and brought like an anti-aggro lineup, but then Mighty still inched it out with
Yeah, I
the aggro
mean,
lineup.
he's
It's
not a
like,
GM
yeah,
for nothing.
I mean, he's GM is dead. He's a Worlds player. I mean,
True.
yeah,
We're just
straight up.
worlds.
Next time, you just got to match up your Worlds player with the other Worlds player.
Look, we tried. We made a slight miscalculation. We thought they were gonna stash Mighty in the 5 and be sneaky, so we tried to out sneaky them and then got out sneakied. It's okay.
Yeah, seeding your team at the beginning matters. There you go. You learned it here first.
All
Eating
right.
does matter.
Next up, we'll talk about the Pink Conference, and we have to lead off is with coming in a strong 20 points to kick off the season with their 1-0 record is Swagoi. And number 2 at the top of the standings, Rope and Cope with 18 points and a 1-0 start to their season. Our next two very close behind Mr. Smite side. Definitely top contender for all name team, if nothing else. And Cheesemongers United, also pretty much a fan of that one too. 17 points apiece, so very well within striking distance for that top spot. And we are going to lead off with our first recap. No pros here versus Make Love, Not Warcraft.
Oh,
Neither of
Great.
these
Yep.
teams are up at the
that's not-
top, so I'm immediately made a liar by saying Lotus's theme is what it is and exposed for nothing more than being biased. That's awesome. No pros here versus Make Love, Not Warcraft. Let's
No.
wait.
Wait,
Hold on.
Ryan.
This
No,
isn't.
no, no.
This is old.
Surely this.
This is old.
Wait, these teams have played 8 weeks.
This is old. Oh my god.
That no
Oh,
pros here would be featured.
What is
Yeah.
happening?
That's the Euro final.
Wait, no, this
What
is
is
Euro
happening?
Finals. I know this one.
I don't know if I have any of these to recap.
Yes, Genji, it is you, but
They're
it's not
they're gone.
they're
The
gone?
matches,
Jarvis.
All right,
they're
do you
not
want us
here.
Jarvis,
to?
search the logs for no pros here matches.
Yeah, let me go ahead and just screenshot this. So it is our first one is going to be Rope and Cope versus Pondering My Ape, which I will grab a new screenshot of and get it up on the screen momentarily. In the meantime, I don't know if you guys have one in front of you. If you could just check it in the notes. Get that.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah,
it's,
sure.
It's here in the notes.
I post them in the channel. But yeah,
We
sure.
almost had all the images uploaded, right?
It wouldn't be a Hearthcenter first. I can read out. So with the Rope and Cope first,
Go.
we had
Graphic incoming shortly.
No Way H winning over Heat Shock, who this lineup looks kind of normal until you see that it's Anaconda Druid, not a
There we
Ramp
go.
Druid. And then Dankest Dad also 1-5 versus Valdis. And then Ariana 20 lost to CMAC 1-3. Nice Jewish Owl swept MMW 3-0. And then Copa lost to Ufric in 5. So honestly a really close series, and Washu bringing some interesting decks, and even Dankest Dad bringing the Reno Rogue into Pro, revealing it. That's kind of interesting. But yeah, definitely I guess before it ends, shout out to Marty with this new implementation of the classes, and you can see what the archetypes are. It's really nice for the shows as well to cover what was being played.
Yeah, I do love that change. So we don't just see classes in open list. We get to actually have a full breakdown of archetypes and get a little bit dive into.
Yeah, it's pretty cool. We get to see some of the just weird things that people bring. This is the only Highlander rogue we see. One of the only Anaconda druids brought here. So thanks to the recognition software, we can also maybe see other warrior sometimes pop up.
Love that.
I do think Heat Shock was definitely onto something here with that Anaconda Druid. I assume it was the Celestial Alignment Anaconda Druid.
Yeah.
Because it actually has an absurdly good matchup into the druid like into ramp druid because you basically like get down your alignment and you can save a lot of your ramp after your and then your opponent has like already played all the ramps, so they're stuck at like low mana. And then you can play your Kazakusan and then play the second alignment. So then all your treasures are low cost, and then when they play their Kaz, their treasures are like still really expensive. So it gives you like a huge advantage in the mirror.
Yeah,
Um, I
and
think
you
I
definitely
think the only issue
could.
with the lineup is that there aren't other decks that are good enough into Druid to complement the Anaconda Druid. And I think that kind of showed with the results there. Heat Shock, falling 3-2 there, not able to close it out against the Ramp Druid.
Yeah, Heatchalk does certainly love his target lineups, but occasionally, it's just especially with something as powerful as Druid, it can just get right on through.
Yeah. And also, Heatchalk went a bit off script this week and did not submit like nearby the deadline. He submitted like 20, 30 minutes before, which is like I haven't seen him do that in like a long time.
Some off-brand things there. But I've got our next match ready to cover. Let's switch on over to it is Mr. Smite side versus No Pros here.
Yeah, so Make Love Not Warcraft putting on a show here against No Pros here. And um, oh wait, sorry, wrong data. Mr. Smiteside barely won against No Pros here, with Rami in the one beating your mum kid 3-1. Uh, Someone winning 3-2 over Kaz. Agent Peewee 3-0 sweeping Vino Spumoni. Xkume 3-2 game 5 win over Interval, and then Boozasaurus taking a game 5 win over Aquaman 5-7-5. Seeding does matter. Um, as we see, we see, some interesting bans here from No Pros Here's side, not always banning the Druid, and maybe that's exactly what did it here. Um, Hard to say, but we do have, uh, just I don't know, someone winning in the two, and I don't like it.
Yeah, Donde getting the win over Kaz in the 2.
Shocking. Yeah,
But
but
yeah,
Dande wins sometimes, right?
he does tend to win on occasion. And it looks like, I mean, the pickup of Rami has already paid off for them. I mean, he is obviously everyone knows he's quite a strong player, and I think this does kind of put Mr. Smite side, a little bit up in the kind of preseason power rankings or early season power rankings a bit. Also, just getting the week 1 win is also quite a good look against a team that has been in pro finals not too long ago and also made, I think, semis last season, if I'm not mistaken.
NPH?
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, yeah. They made semis last season.
Yeah, they had a solid run last season.
They
So yeah, yeah,
They're
against like
usually
a
in
pretty good
contention.
team.
yeah. NPH Pro pretty good.
Also, I got to give
NPH.
a major shout out to my boy Boozasaurus. Aquaman, by the way, I think is top 10 legend, maybe like rank 5 legend right now. So Boo's taken that 5-game series. Super impressive. Really, really cool to see. He's somewhere around like a 3 or a 4 seed in Legacy, but here he is showing up in Pro and taking it to top legend player. So Mr. Smiteside might have something going on here.
Yeah, Aquaman is quite good at Hearthstone. So yeah, very impressive by Booz to get the win there.
All right, and that wraps up our recap for THL Pro for Americas. But we still have Pro for EU to cover before we switch on over to Pro EU in our last and final series to recap for the first week. Any final words on Pink Conference or Pro in general for Americas?
I think Yeah, it's hard to see where things are. I think especially in pink, like a lot of the teams that were looking better on paper in the preseason rankings aren't up there, but like there's still like so much to play. And I feel like pro is like, especially in the first couple of weeks, like the people ping pong up and down, and even till the end, like,
Oh
it's really
yeah,
close.
pro is nuts. And also when the meta is still trying to settle, and there are nerfs involved, some people have like a better feel for something, and then things change, and then other people might, like the meta better and start doing better. So we should be in for some shakeups. It'll be interesting. All right, let's jump on over to Pro EU. Where are they hidden? They're hidden.
They're there on the sheet if you can see them.
No,
Yeah.
what,
Oh,
not
they're
one?
they're just hidden. I wanted to make sure that they loaded over correctly, but they did. So we are going to start with the blue conference, where we have Fruit Basket up at the very top with 23 points, an absolutely dominant opener, getting the maximum amount of points possible to lead off week one. League of Nations close behind in our number 2 spot there with 20 points, and contenders just slightly behind them, Pertinax and F2L Violet, one of the many F2L teams that exist. And let's dive into our first match to cover, which is going to be F2L Violet versus Flowens Esports. We'll start off with Diamond. Go ahead.
Yeah, so F12 Violet has procured a very strong team. I'd argue the strongest F12 team that they've come up with in recent times because they have Superfig and Rami, who both were victorious. Actually, all the people who won this week, Superfig, Rami, Robson, and Itachi won 3-1, and then unfortunately Copa fell 0-3. And yeah, I don't know. I really like EU Pro so far. Like everyone, like when I was on the looking for the preseason rankings, like each team had like at least one nutty player, which you can't really say about like all series per se, or like compared to like NA Pro. So it's like really interesting, and like especially a lot more like organizations coming in, like Fluency Esports is like an actual esports thing. I think Pertinax is also like this Dutch like group, so it's kind of cool. Like a bunch of these teams are like everyone's like from the same place. I think Donkey Ha is like 3 or 4 Croatian people as well. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's really cool to see THL getting another EU season going and leading off, with the player like Superfake and Rami on the F2L team is pretty nutty. We got a whole list of just cracked names. Kind of not really too different from THL Pro in Americas, where just like every roster seems stacked, top to bottom. I think we're seeing the same kind of theme here.
Yeah. Also hope Demander does not roll over the Switcher Priest because that card is nerfed. Because I'm pretty sure that is just the combo one enough to scam the game. So we'll see with that.
We'll see. And then our last and final match, let's dive into Fruit Basket versus Team Enigma. I don't know a whole lot about Team Enigma, but I'm sure this most likely won't be representative of their entire season. Might just be more, highlighting the strength of Fruit Basket. Super Check-in, talk to me about this.
So you might say that they are an enigma to you, Ron.
Oh my goodness. He didn't.
Y-
Who are you,
Um,
Lotus?
yeah, the only player on Team Enigma that I know is Halo, who played in, I believe, an EU standard tournament, like the THL EU standard tournament on one of the weekends. I had the opportunity to cast that with Marty, and I believe Halo actually ended up winning the tournament. So yeah, they have some accomplishments under their belt. They also played in the Hearthstone Nations tournament last like October, November-ish. Um, and I think like in the single player portion, I think I was actually against them in one of my matches. I can't remember who won that match, but yeah, so they're definitely a player that's been around the scene, playing in tournaments and stuff like that. But on the other side, Fruit Basket winning every match. There's actually, I mean, Fruit Basket really has some names that I recognize. Foodov, Lasagna, like Max. I believe, and I'm not sure if this is the same Jack Attack that's from New Zealand.
No, it's not. It's a different one.
Okay, so it's a different one. Okay, so then I don't know this Jack Attack, but
Yeah.
Well, it is good
yeah,
to see Lasagna at full strength, right? He had collection issues when he was playing in other series, but he's got a full collection here.
Yeah.
yeah, no, that's great for them. And yeah, like Foodov was a sub on for the boys last season. Didn't end up needing to sub in, but like he helped out a bit with prep, and he's also just a really really strong player. And yeah, he just just a really solid addition to that team.
Yeah. And then all these people in Fruit Basket are just people in Orange's Discord. And I'm pretty sure that's what Lasagna did, was go to Orange's Discord and grab like active people like Foodov. This is once
Genius.
again like showing just like how everyone kind of came together, which is like I kind of how NA Pro started as well. It was like a bunch of like smaller groups of people who like were friends and like, oh, we can actually all play together. Because a lot of these teams would not be possible in PR series.
Yeah, not a bad strategy. Just going to a Discord of a pro player who kind of has a community of other pro players.
Yeah, like you said, with no PR restrictions, just go nuts. Get all the strongest players you can find. So there
Yeah.
you have it. That is our week 1 in review. That's all of our series. That's all of our highlighted matches. Any final words on EU Pro? Hate for Donkey Hot for not winning, getting a single point, Geranium?
Well, I mean, along the same lines, I hate to push Team Enigma down here, but they have a bye next week, which means that a Team 3 seed is locked to not having the lowest points in THL for another week.
Congratulations. Big moment.
Don't
Why
worry,
the
you'll get there next week.
Oh
Oh,
God.
nice. Yeah, just give it a couple weeks. You'll get there. Just keep playing Monkey Paladin, and you know, you can assure that spot over the course of the whole season.
Open letter petition to dev team.
Make Monkey give Colossal minions.
Oh, now we're talking. Still no though.
They should fix that. Like, what is that like a bug or is that intended?
That should be a bug
They
because there's
responded.
no legit. Oh, did they?
I'm pretty sure they responded and said it was a bug. Yeah.
Well,
Damn.
like, Turtle
Monkey.
finding
Okay,
bugs
Monkey
that like
Paladin has a bad win rate because you can't get colossal minions.
so
Let's
true.
head on back over to our caster screen as we wrap up, for the night. Sure, some of our final words might be related to Monkey Paladin, but had a great time with you guys. Thank you for having me back to host again. A lot of series still now. 4 things going on and March Madness. So much Hearthstone. And THL just seems to be going on just strong as ever. Um, let's take it away for final words. Diamond, go ahead. Final words on the night.
Yeah, sure. This is great. The first week of THL was fun to cover, and I'm excited for the rest of the season. And then good luck as well to, I don't know the list of people, but like how many people are qualified for the MT this weekend. Hopefully, a bunch of people, all the boys do well. And yeah, it should be exciting to watch. Maybe someone will appear on stream, and then everyone will talk about THL as well.
Yeah, awesome. All right, Super Chicken, take it away.
Yeah, I mean, we have kind of 4 series to cover now and March Madness, but yeah, glad we got all through it pretty quickly. I'll have more to talk about next week, especially with March Madness kind of starting to wrap up, getting into our final four slash top eight slash finalists. That so yeah, stay tuned for that next week. But yeah, it was a really fun time this weekend. Excited to be back for more content next week.
Absolutely. Geranium Battle, final words on the night?
I mean, it's really great to get back into the swing of things with yet another season. So, week 1 was great. Week 2 will be greater, and week 3 will be greater still. And we'll be here to talk about it all with you in the future.
Love it. Right. And that falls to me for, I guess, Lotus's role. So for those of you out there watching who are playing matches, um, please make sure that you reach out to, your stream casters. We have a whole channel in Discord now dedicated to requests to play on stream. Always looking for, more people to get some streamed matches, get some more fun stuff going on with that. It was a pleasure as always to be back here hosting Hearthcenter for me, and I might show up again at some point down the road. I should be back with Lotus next week, and hope you all had a great time. Have a great night, and catch you next time. Night, everybody.